What's going on, everybody? This is Super Robot Ed, and we're going to be talking about Masterpiece 60 and MPG-09 Ginrai Super Ginrai. These picture height comparisons come from user William MMW in the Facebook group I belong to. And basically, he took these pictures of the different Ginrais that he has. And we're going to look at some of these and we're going to go over the sizes. Now, please forewarned that some of the scale that we're going to be looking at is not official scale. This is third party's version of the figures, so they may be larger than they should be or smaller than they should be. But either way, we really do have to go a little bit more with the scale that comes from Takara. However, I will say that one company actually does a better job scaling with this figure than any other company out there, and that is something else. But yeah, there's some very height discrepancies, but you know, Takara's going to go with their official height and nothing else. Starting with the Headmaster Juniors, I don't know what company this is. I think it's Fans Hobby. Yeah, they're large. They're a little too large because they're not scaled correctly. Same thing with Hydra and Buster. This is really not bad, but this is just goes to show you why, you know, this is third party can't be the set test for, you know, litmus test. You know, they can't. And yes, they're way too big if you're scaling it to the size that Takara is going with as far as Ginrai. Yeah, they're way too big. I actually took a screenshot of episode 14 of Master Force from my collection, just so I could show you guys they're the same size. Let that sink in. They're the same size. So yeah, there's a lot that needs to be addressed here. And of course, when you get him into Super Ginrai mode, they're really very close in height to him. And there's a lot we got to look at and address as we go through this video of the height. Same thing with the fans. I believe it's Fans Hobby. If I'm wrong, please help me out in the comments. They're still a little too big at the height of Super Ginrai. Now we're going to compare it to Striker Manus. Now Thunder Menace. Thunder Menace's cab is basically the size of a Micromaster, if y'all didn't know. And of course, I believe this is KFC's version of Ginrai, Super Ginrai. No, I don't like their version at all. Here he is compared to the G1 version of Super Ginrai. You can see the retractable fist there and the die cast. That lets you know that that is the Japanese version, and the red eyes as well. Here is the Legends version of Ginrai, which is the remold of Power Master of Titan's Return or Power Master Optimus Prime. Here is Power Baser. Now you notice he's not quite as big as Power Baser, but not as, you know, he's almost as tall as Power Baser. We're going to get to that later. Now over here with MMC's version of Overlord, Carnifex. The main thing to remember about MMC, they are Chug scale, but they tend to scale to the large end on Chug. You know, they've been in Chug scale for a long time because they do also Masterpiece scale. Now Carnifex is a big boy. Actually, one of the better looking ones, more IDW, unless you have the upgrade kit to make him more light G1. But if you add the God Ginrai, the God Bummer parts to God Ginrai, then he's going to be bigger than Overlord, and that should not be. This is the correct size between the two of them, and that's using Fans Hobby's version, Double Evil, or their version of Overlord. This looks a lot closer to animation than putting him next to their version of Ginrai Power Baser. And we're going to see that in the screenshots that are also provided here by the same Facebook user with a comparison as he did them. If you look at the height, how he got very close to getting to the match. Power Baser and Double Evil and MPG-09 Super Ginrai, they scale much closer than that of even, you know, Power Baser. And or whatever they call them, Power Base or whatever they call them. But yeah, this if you're gonna go that route and you get MPG-09, you better go out and get yourself a copy of Double Evil. And I kind of want a copy of Double Evil. That thing looks pretty cool, man. Overall, I think what really hurt Takara this time around is that they did not have any other figures that scaled with this toy. And that sucks because of the simple fact that, you know, Masterpiece is all over the place And it is up to third party to provide those holes that Takara won't fill as they go through making these figures. And, you know, at one point there was an order and a rhyme and a reason, especially when we went to MP-10, because MP-10 was the refresh of Masterpiece. Okay, you didn't know until we got the MP-44. But that only affected the leaders. It did not affect the, you know, like the cars, you know, like Wheeljack and Prowl and all of them. They still in what you call Lambo or Sideswipe, they all stay the same size. So that means that 9 times out of 10, we were only looking at the leaders that had to get, you know, that fix, which is what MP-44 is. Versus when MP-10 came out, everything that when MP-10 came out, the redesign of that was the redesign of Masterpiece. That's when we got MP-11, and then of course Lamborgh's MP-12, and all the cars scaled correctly. It's just that we needed a better Optimus Prime to really match Megatron, the, you know, MP-36, and that's all it was. So now we're kind of out of the scale because we're thinking that the cab for Ginrai should be the exact same size as MP-44. If they did, Ginrai would be a very big toy, and that's not his scale. But then again, it's up to Takara to really define this as a masterpiece, and it ain't working for them right now because, as you know, there's a lot of QC issues with this figure. And there are a few, nothing bad, but you got to be careful what you're doing when you get the figure. Chuck Dog, your old pal Chuck, however he goes by, and Ghost Prime Reviews, both have done a review on the MP-60 MPG-09. Watch their reviews if you want to hear more about the QC issues. I believe Ghost Prime Reviews had some broken tabs on his. And I don't know, I really didn't get a chance to watch the video in full, but I might go back and watch both of theirs in full again, just to see what, you know, more details on what those are. Probably do another video on that tomorrow. Other than that, though, what are your thoughts? Leave them down in the comments below. Are you still interested in getting MPG-09 or MP-60 or both or one or the other, whichever way? How do you feel about those figures? Are you still interested in getting them because it's official, or are you going to stick with your third-party counterparts and call it a day? As always, please like, subscribe, and share. This is Super Robot Ed, bringing more news reviews to them. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.